gave him like a smile. I smiled at him. I was like, tell me why this man looks me up and down like this, and he goes like, what's up, it's your girl with Cindy and Barbie, and I'm back with another video. So before we get into this video, you already know what it is. You already know what's up. You should have already did it. If I'm an unfamiliar face to you guys, hi, like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz if you want to keep up with me, because I don't post that often, but when I do, I want you guys to catch it. So go ahead and click that subscribe button down below, and I guess the notification button is down below as well, so go ahead and click that to keep in touch with me. And yeah, so enough of the chit chat, let's get right into this video. So today's video is going to be a story time, another story time, you guys, about the time where I had to quit a job within a week. I know, same story, but it's just like these jobs, I don't know what it is, but every time I work at a job and I train, I'd never get past a training point. And if I do, I probably stay on for about like another week, if even that. So I was looking for another job. I was working my first job that I've had for about it's been about 3 years already. So I've been at just one job for about 3 years. But you know me, I like to have variety. So I wanted to apply for another job to get some, and plus extra money. Who doesn't like extra money? So I'm gonna name this place A&R because that's what the name of the restaurant starts with. And A&R is like a tequila bourbon hall. So it's mostly known for its tequilas and its bourbons. I think it has 64 tequilas and 30 something bourbons, but they had a lot of different options as well as delicious drinks. That was one of the main reasons why I even wanted to work there, because I wanted to bartend there. The food there is good too. They mostly just sell tacos and that's really about it. So I had my interview and I was interviewed by one of the managers. I'm gonna call her Margarita. But yeah, she was just telling me about the job. It's pretty laid back. You make really great money. And those are the two environments that I know that I love. You make great money and it's a chill job. Like, who wouldn't work there?
So I didn't mention earlier, there was another manager. He was actually my old manager from the job that I'm currently at. And I named him L in this story, but it was too long for me to put in the beginning. So I mentioned an L towards the end, but that's who I'm talking about. The manager who hired me, the other manager.
After that interview, they did orientation, and it was a couple of us, and they were just having us sign paperwork, like, you know, the usual thing. And I was going around the building, and they were showing us around the building and different places, like the kitchen and everything. But the gag is, I used to work there before, not at A&R, but I used to work at the place that was there before that place. So when they were walking us around, I was pretty much just like, oh yeah, I pretty much already know where everything is. But as I was walking around, I was kind of getting like a feeling in my stomach, in my soul. Like, you know how you get those feelings? Like, it's kind of like uncomfortable. And the only reason why I was feeling like this is because the location I worked at before, where the place was before A&R, I had worked there twice. I got fired the first time. I have a story time on that one. If you guys haven't watched that one, I can put that down below because you're going to catch this video. But yeah, I was feeling a little apprehensive because I've worked in that same location. And I was just like, this building just feels kind of toxic for some reason. My first day of training was in the morning time. I was training, I had to get there like around 10 something, 9:30, 10 something. So also that first day, I did meet the other managers. They were like, I think they were leads, because it was like L was the assistant manager. L was the guy who hired me, if I didn't mention that before. But L was the assistant manager. And then it was Margarita and the other manager who I met later on that day, CC. I met other managers, but I'm just mentioning these two people because they were the main ones who were in this story time. So the first day of training went well, and I got my paperwork. I got my little folder with everyday checklist kind of thing, and we were supposed to go through a daily checklist, and we are supposed to like go over certain things on certain days. And after I went through those things, I was supposed to put a check next to them, and I was supposed to get signed by the manager to go to the next day. So the trouble really didn't start until my second day of training. On my second day of training, it was at night, first of all, so it was a completely different crew. And when I got there, they usually have these meetings at the start of the shift, And the meetings are for like, you know, to introduce like the new food, whatever drink they have that they're featuring, and just basically to have like basically like a team group kind of thing. So they went through that, and then they were just like, okay, so and so, like another girl who was training, because it was me and this other girl who got hired at the same time, and we were both training. So they were just like, okay, you and so and so, you're going with so and so. And they were talking to me. They were like, okay, so we don't have a trainer for you yet. They're coming in at 5. And the first thing that I thought, I was just like, well, why do I not have a trainer? Like, why does the other girl have a trainer? Hers is there at that time at 4 o'clock, but I have to wait a whole hour just there. So my trainer comes in, and her name is, I'm gonna name her Taco. So I'm telling some people, like, I'm just like, yeah, I was waiting for my trainer for about an hour, but now they're here apparently. And they were just like, oh, who's your trainer? And I was like, Taco. And they were just like, why would they give you Taco to train? Taco doesn't even train. She doesn't even know how to train. And that's what 2 people told me. So I'm just thinking, like, why would you guys give me somebody who doesn't train people, has never trained people, and you're just gonna just decide today, hey, we're gonna give you the Taco. So there was like 2 or 3 different instances where I was like helping her out. I was putting in orders. One of the instances was with this couple table. It was 2 people. I put in their orders and I put in their drinks. And then towards the end where we were, because it got kind of busy, so I was checking on the tables because I felt like they were my tables in a way because I served them. So I was checking on them. I was just like, okay, are you guys ready to go? Y'all need boxes? So they were telling me that, yeah, we're ready for our check, but can you split it? I finally found her. I was telling her, I was just like, yeah, this couple table over at table whatever, I forgot. But table whatever, they're just like, we're ready for their receipts. So Taco goes onto the computer and she's just like, where's the rest of the order? And I was just like, it should be there. I didn't touch anything. And she was just all like, it's not there. The other half is not there. What did you do? So she's doing all this, what did you do? What did you do? In front of one of the managers. And the manager comes up and she's just like, oh, you mean table so-and-so. And so the manager was just like, oh, I moved the order. For some reason, she sent the table to herself. I don't know why she did that, but she sent the table to herself and she split the check. And what happened is she forgot to add the other half of the check to the other check. So I'm just thinking like that would have been a good thing to know when you did it or before you even did it if you knew you had to do it. So after that, it was 2 more instances. It was an instance where we had a 7 top. And the 7 top actually turned to a 10 top. We were pretty much taking people's orders as they were coming in. And she was just like, okay, here's my number. When they come in, make sure you get their orders and you put it in so we can have them all in. So everything was all good till it got to the end where they were all splitting their checks because they were all splitting separate checks. And I was at the computer with Taco because I was trying to tell her, okay, so that person had that person had that. And she was just like, I don't remember putting any of this in. Who has this? Who has this? Why is this here? Why is this here? She was saying it with the attitude and I was getting kind of irritated because I'm just like, okay, why are you talking like this? So I go over to the customers. I'm just like, okay, you guys, so who had this again and who had this again? And I was just pretty much going a little bit like whatever we didn't know, I was okay, so thank you. So I walk away. And as I'm walking back up to the computer to go talk to Taco to tell her who had what, I walk up and I hear her talking to the host. And she's just like, she's getting on my nerves. I'm so fucking irritated. I don't even know why I have to train her. She's messing up my table. She's doing this. She's doing that.
We can clearly see that somebody got me fucked up. Fucked up.
Why are you so mad? Like, first of all, if you didn't want to train me, you should have just told them not to train me since you've never trained before. From what I hear, you've never trained before. After we had got everything situated, we passed out the checks and the checks still weren't right. Like, so-and-so said they didn't get this drink. So-and-so said they didn't get just, it was like about 2 or 3 people who said that their checks were messed up. She goes to the guy manager, and she's just like, I need your help with this table. She's messing everything up. She's messing up my orders. She's messing with my money. Mind you, she's doing this in front of the bar. Okay, so the bar at this place is a square bar. So it's like seats all around the bar. It goes completely into a square. But she was doing this in front of some customers and she did this in front of a couple of workers. So the manager is just all like, oh yeah, we can go over here. We're going to fix it. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to see where everything is. and she's training, so she's still learning, so don't go so hard on her, because she still doesn't know where everything is. So after that commotion, I ended up leaving like in the next like 30-45 minutes. So as I was about to leave, I was talking to her and I was just like, okay, so they said I can leave, so what do you need me to do before I go? So she was telling me, oh, you gotta roll some silverware to go. I got some silverware, and I'm starting to roll silverware, and I have a couple of girls come up to me and they're just like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, oh, I'm rolling silverware. Taco said I had to roll silverware before I leave. And those girls were just like, Taco lied to you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to roll silverware. You're still training. After hearing that, I was like, wow, okay. So this bitch is trying to play me again, trying to get me to do all her work. So after that, I go up to Taco, and I was just like, oh, they told me I didn't have to do anything else. I can just go. And she was just like, okay, well, bye. Have a great night. So I talked to the management about my schedule. I talked to, it was Cece, Margarita, and this other guy manager in the office. And I was talking to them about coming back in, and they're just like, oh yeah, come in, not the next day, tomorrow, but the day after that. So I'm driving, and not even 10 minutes into me driving, I get a phone call, and it's actually from the guy manager who was in the office with Margarita and Cece. And he was just all like, hey, are you okay? I heard about what happened. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was kind of like concern. It felt like concern, but a part of me felt like it was pettiness in a way, because I felt like it was just like, okay, you guys, even if it wasn't him, he knew with me training with her that it probably wasn't a good idea. So I feel like it was some setup kind of shit. And the reason why I say this is because when I got there, I'm honestly, look at me, like I'm kind of cute. Well, I think I'm pretty cute. I'm pretty. So a lot of guys were showing interest in me. They were in my face, and they were kind of trying to flirt with me, including a couple of the managers. But I was pretty much just, no, I'm not trying to flirt with nobody. I'm not trying to be no dude's face. I'm just trying to make some money. I'm just trying to go. I guess some of the guys were their interest either currently or past, whatever. Because that's the only thing I can think of. Because the way that they were acting and the little things that they were doing, I can't think of anything else. So yeah, the guy manager, he calls me up, and he's just like, hey, I heard about what happened. Are you okay? And I was just like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I'm straight. Like, I'm coming in training that day, whatever. And he was just like, oh yeah, I was just trying to call and check on you because I heard about what happened, and I just wanted to make sure you were good. So fast forward to a third day of training, and it's at night again. And of course, once again, they're just like, okay, so so-and-so, you're with so-and-so, you talking to me. They were just like, your trainer's not here yet, so run some food while she gets here. If y'all are trying to hire me as a food runner, just say that. Like, don't just use me to work and do extra shit, because y'all could have easily scheduled me for 5 o'clock. Like, why would y'all have me come in an hour early again and then not have a person to train me again, but have a trainer for someone else who's coming in at the same time as me? So I started running food, and this day, actually, I met he wasn't a manager, but he worked for corporate, and they had him at the store because they were trying to get the store together. I guess something happened previously, and they had him there just to make sure things was running smoothly. I was in the back, and it was a slow night. I think it was a Monday. I think it was actually Martin Luther King Day. And I was in the back because it was super slow, but they wanted me to run food, but there was nothing to be ran. So I was talking to this one girl, and we were just having a little conversation here and there because she was technically like the expo person, the expo at the window. So we were just talking, and periodically I was taking my phone out, and I was just looking at my phone, kind of scrolling on it, and I would just like put it back in my pocket. I was scrolling through Instagram, and corporate guy walks around the corner, and I see him when I look up, and I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, he seems cool. So I gave him like a smile. I smiled at him. I was like, tell me why this man looks me up and down like this, and he goes like,
well, excuse the fuck out of me.
Then he turns to the girl expo and he's just like, hey girl, I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on? What's up? So I literally was just like, wow, like this dude, real deal, just me mug me. Even if it was the case, I was on my phone, whatever. It's my third fucking day of training. And I'm not using that as an excuse to be like, oh, I can be on my phone, whatever, since I'm not technically working here, I'm just training. But it's just the fact that he could have easily been like, hey, you know what? Can you put your phone up? Because you're not supposed to have your phone like this out and whatever. If he didn't think I knew the rules or whatever, he could have just been like, yeah, you know what? We don't do that around here. But the fact that he just mugged me like that, I was like, wow, is this how we get down here? Because if that's the case, I really don't want to work here. When my trainer came in, super sweet girl. She was super awesome. She was actually a trainer. Like, this is the same girl who asked why they put me with Taco, because they were just like, Taco is not a trainer. If anything, Taco's the last person they should have put you with. And so that's why I was like, oh, really? Okay, so they really trying to play with me right now. That same day, I had actually didn't go through my packet because Taco didn't go through my packet with me. So after I trained with the girl and everything, I went to the office and Cece was back there. Oh, no. She said, I'll sign off on it. And we also have your schedule put up. We're going to have your schedule put up by next week. So I was telling her, okay, so I can work on these days, and these days, just telling her my availability. And so I wrote down for her everything. And she was just like, okay, we'll make sure we put it in the computer. Why a couple of days after that, while I looked on the shift, they put me for 2 days. I told them that I could not work. So I told Cece, hey, you know, you made a schedule and those aren't the days I can work. So can you please update it? Because I won't be able to work this upcoming Tuesday. Because I told her I wouldn't be able to work because I was going to be working at my job that night. So she was just like, okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put it in and we can go ahead and get that together. Go back in and the schedule still not changed. It still says the same thing. So after I go through with my 4th day, it was in the morning time. And I was just telling them like, look, I talked to Cece. I told her that I can't work these days. It was Margarita and the other guy who had called me about the situation. I was just like, yeah, I really can't work these days. And I already talked to Cece and I told her, but she still hasn't changed the schedule. So can you please fix it for me? So they were telling me that Cece was the one who fixes the schedules and I would have to like message her on the Messenger app to talk to her and tell her to change my schedule. So this is the second time I'm telling these people that I can't work these days, my schedule. Mind you, the days are creeping along and next week I have to work that same exact day. So this was this was a Friday. Yeah, this is a Friday. So I messaged Cece after I got off work and I was telling her, hey, like, yeah, I know I told you earlier, but the schedule's still the same. So if you can, whenever you have time, can you please change the schedule so that I can work the day? All weekend, I get no message back. I get no text back. I get nothing back. I don't hear from her at all. And I'm just like, okay, so we're supposed to be messaging the managers on these things. And y'all say y'all get the messages and y'all say y'all get notifications, because I got notifications when I got messages from the managers about group work or about whatever. So I know if I'm getting these messages and these notifications, I know you are too. So you're purposely avoiding me. You're purposely not changing my shit for what? For what reason?
What was the reason? What was the reason?
So I come back on Monday and this is supposed to be my 5th day of training. And I'm training, I did a double this day. So I worked in the morning time and then I waited until Margarita and I saw Margarita and Cece again. And Margarita and Cece were telling me that I had to do my test to be able to go on the floor. So they gave me all this paperwork and everything, and they gave me about 5 days worth of tests, about 5 days worth of quizzes that I was supposed to be taking. So people would start telling me, they were just like, why did you get all the quizzes at the same day, like on your last day? We got our quizzes the day that we finished the first day, so that it was fresh in our minds. So I'm telling them, I'm just like, well, they've had me training for this long and I'm trying to do a double today, but they're actually telling me I have to work another day for some reason. So they would keep telling me, they were just like, we didn't even have this many days of training. We got on the floor 3-4 days after we did our stuff. We actually got on the floor within 3 or 4 days. I've basically been working 5 days. This is my 5th day and I'm trying to do a double this day. And I still have to do another day and I'm doing all these quizzes on the same day. I feel like they're purposely fucking with my schedule and they're purposely fucking with my training. So Cece's actually there that night and I finished all my tests And I go to Cece and I'm just like, yep, here you go. These are all my quizzes. I'm done. So I'm done with training. So she proceeds to tell me that I actually have more quizzes and more tests that I have to do. So I tell Cece for the third time, this should be considered the fourth time, because I messaged her on that app and I told her for the fourth time, hey, you know what? I'm still working that day. I told y'all I can't work that day. And then she's just all like, oh yeah, I'll get right to it. I'm gonna do it right now. So I wake up and I go look at the app and the days are still there. So I'm pretty much just like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. I was tired. I was so tired of this shit. So I call him. It was like into the afternoon, a couple of hours before I was supposed to start the shift. It was like around 1 or 2. And I was just telling him, okay, this is what happened. This is what happened. I've been training for this long. I just feel like it's been very super unprofessional. Everybody's been super unprofessional. And I just can't seem to understand why everything's falling apart. Like, I haven't had any trainers on the days I was supposed to train at the time I came in. I didn't do all my tests. The day I went in for training, I didn't do all my tests. I was just like so unprofessional. He proceeds to tell me, he's just all like, oh, well, you know, they're newly fresh managers. They've been managers for like about 4 or 5 months. So they're still getting into the system and they're still learning everything, and they just don't know everything. They just recently made her the manager schedule. So she's still trying to get the swing of things. The way everything was, it was so unprofessional. I'm just like, there's no way they're doing this accidentally. This shit has to be purposely done. I asked him, I'm just like, did they ever tell you that I wasn't supposed to work around this time? Did they ever tell you that I wasn't supposed to work this day? I can only imagine with me going through this now as I'm working here, me going through this, I can only imagine how it's gonna be once I start actually working there. So yeah, after about a week and a half, I just was just like, you know what, I'm done. And I just quit. So that's it of my story time, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for supporting me too. That really means a lot to me. I come to these story times for you guys because I know you guys like my story times, because you guys are watching them. Y'all are responding. Y'all are just being super awesome and super supportive. And I can't thank you guys enough. Have a blessed and wonderful day. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.